Welcome back to Learn SKN, and today we're going to look at economics again, CSEC economics, but this time we're going to pick up right where we left off. Last time we looked at the financial sector, we defined the financial sector, and we show some components of the financial sector. And so today we are going to be looking at section specific objective number 3, discuss the concept of money. And so we're going to look at the history of money, and we're going to see how money eventually developed. So we're going to jump in from the very beginning, and we're going to start from the get-go, where we have what we call the barter system. So money would have come out of what the barter system was. There were some problems inherent in the barter system, and because of that, money was developed to try and solve those problems. So what exactly is the barter system, and how did that lead to the development of money? So based on our textbook here, we're going to look at our textbook. And so the textbook has, barter. I did a video on barter already for POB. That video can be used, but this is an economics video. And so I'm going to do over that some of the content, and basically for the fact that the audio is a little better now than it was then when we first started. So we're going to look at barter. You can use that old video still, but we're going to do it still for economics. All right, so what is barter? So barter is the exchange of goods or services for other goods or services without the use of money. And so that's the key thing to understand, that barter is the exchange of goods and or services for other goods or services without the use of money. Remember, there really was no money back then when bartering was going on. Bartering was the main thing way back in early days, and when civilization was just starting and things like that. When people settled down and agriculture was a thing, bartering was also the main way in which persons traded with each other, because money was not a staple for, money was not even invented for certain civilizations. Some civilizations had money before others, or had things used as money before others. For example, some of them had shells and cocoa beans and things like that. But bartering is the exchange of goods and services for other goods and services. But there were some problems inherent in the barter system, as I said earlier. And so let's look at some of the problems with barter. So you say you have the unequal value of exchange, double coincidence of wants, and impossibility of savings. And if you look at the POB video for barter, there are some others that were listed for POB, but this is the economic syllabus, so we're going to stick with economics. So the unequal value of exchange, what is that talking about now? Now the book here says, the dressmaker might feel that the value of the dress is equal to that of the television. You're looking at this reference here, the dress for the television. But the television set owner, trader, might think this television is worth 4 dresses. Traders in the barter system have difficulty in determining the relative value of goods. And so what they're simply saying here is that everybody would value their things differently. And so you will have problems coming to a consensus, coming to an understanding to say, okay, look here, my 5 bags of corn is worth just 2 bags of your carrots. You as a carrot farmer might say, well, I put in a lot of work in my carrots. I put in a lot of, fertilizer and whatnot. And so I think my carrots is 3 bags of carrots is worth for your corn. So that's where the confusion would arise, because there was an unequal value of exchange. Other persons would think that their value is higher than others. Look at the picture with the cows. They have pencils. And so this one here is saying, okay, 2, 4, 6 pencils for your cow. But in my mind, like 6 pencils for my cow. How about a whole pile of pencils for my cow? A whole box of pencils for my cow? So now they have to come to some understanding, some negotiation. And so, in all things, negotiating something that breaks down. And so you might not be able to trade because we just cannot agree upon the equal value of our goods. So that's where you have the problem arising. Then you have the big problem, one of the biggest problems with barter. Double coincidence of wants. So let's look at the example here again with the dress and the TV. The dressmaker will have to find someone who wants a red dress, size small, who also has a 21-inch Sony TV. I guess that was a big thing back then, 50, 60 inches is a thing right now. So, yes. So, what they're saying here is that this is another difficulty in the process of barter. So, they're saying that double coincidence of wants. So, if I wanted to trade for sugar, but I only have flour, then I would have to go and find someone who wants flour, who wants flour. Remember, I have flour, I want sugar. So I have to find someone now who wants my flour, and they happen to have the amount of sugar I need. So that's why you're talking about the double coincidence of what. You have to be so specific with this thing. Look at what they say here with just an example. So you have to find somebody who wants a red dress, size small, who also happen to want a TV that you have. You see how complicated that can be? You have to be so specific. So I go in and trade. I want some corn on the cob for dinner tonight, but I only have potatoes. So I have to find somebody now who want potatoes, who actually have corn on the cob. So that's how double coincidence of want work. It's difficult to find somebody who wants what you want and they have what you want. And so that's a problem for bartering, a major problem. And next problem they have here is the impossibility of saving. When barter takes place, saving is difficult. Saving of goods requires storage space. A producer might not have enough space to store bulky goods. Also, some goods such as fish might be perishable and so difficult, if not impossible to store. So again, you cannot really store anything, right? You cannot really store much for a long period of time when you do the bartering thing. First of all, you have to have space, and then certain goods, agricultural goods, tend to be perishable, and so you might have traded for a lot of tomatoes. Before the weekend, all the tomatoes are ruined because they spoiled. So it was impossibility of saving. Saving was difficult. One that I don't have here, that's a very important one, is also the divisibility of goods could have been a problem. Dividing goods could have been a problem, because the example people would give is that if somebody have something and they want, let's say, a cow, and then somebody say, well, that is worth half a cow. Now, are you as a farmer going to chop your cow in half, give them the half, and take what they have, and then take the other half of the cow home to do what with? Because they're dead. The cow dead. So that was a problem back then. So if you trade in certain things, like animals, you cannot divide them down the middle. Suppose this one in the diagram say, you know what? That amount of pencil is only worth the head on the cow. So is this man supposed to cut off the cow head, give him for the pencil, and then do what with the rest of the body? So that's a problem right there. Some goods could not be divided easily, and so that was a problem for the barter system. So something had to come up in order to solve these problems. And so that is where the birth of money came about, because bartering was an issue, and so we have to find a way to, solve those problems. So the modern economy uses money. So understand that bartering was normally back in the day during subsistence time and that kind of existence. So the modern economy uses money as a means of facilitating trade and exchange. Firms and individuals trade the goods and services produced for money, and in return, they use money received to purchase goods and services they wish to consume. Therefore, the producer owner of the dress will sell it to someone who wants the dress of that color and size and style. With the money received, he or she can purchase a Sony television set. Well, I don't think TV in the cheap, right? But anyway, so money is therefore a medium of exchange. Money is defined as anything that is acceptable as a means of settling debts. It is anything that is acceptable to both buyers and sellers as a means of paying for goods and services. And so that's money in a nutshell right there. Money is therefore a medium of exchange. Money is defined as anything that is acceptable as a means of settling debts. It is anything that is acceptable by both buyers and sellers. So both of us have to agree on what constitutes money. You can't give me a piece of wood and say, hey, that's money. I'm not going to accept it. So both parties have to accept that money, whatever you're exchanging, is money. And that's one of the characteristics of money that we're going to look at later on. A more advanced definition for money could be: money is a set of assets in an economy that people regularly use to buy goods and services from other people. And so that's the next definition you can use for money, right? So let's look at some of the functions of money. Before we do, we look at the types of money. So you have different types of money. You have commodity money, you had fiat money, you have token money. Now, what is commodity money? Commodity money is money that is backed by items that they themselves have value. They have intrinsic value. For example, gold, silver, those things, iron. By itself, gold has value by itself. And so when you make a coin from gold, the coin itself is valuable as gold, right? The gold itself is valuable. So that's commodity money. The money itself, what the money is made of, is valuable. In the past, many items have been used as money. Cowrie shells, beads, cattle, and even cigarettes in World War II. Commodity money consists of items used as money that are in themselves valuable. Example of commodity money are cigarettes. Of course, if you're in jail, that's the currency of the day. Well, back in the day, television and so would depict that cigarettes is the money, the value, the currency in the jail. So cigarettes, cattle, tobacco, gold, silver, and iron. Nowadays, the money we use is fiat money. So commodity money is money that has an intrinsic value. The money itself, what it is made of, it has value unto itself, unto its own. Right? So let's look at it right here again. Kinds of money. So you have commodity money. Takes the form of commodity with intrinsic value. Example, gold, silver, cigarette. Intrinsic mean it's within the commodity itself has value. Then you have fiat money. Fiat money is used as money because of government decree. So that's legal tender. So the government say this paper is money, therefore that's the money. That's the value it has. But on its own, it doesn't really have any intrinsic value. Example, coins, currency, check deposits. On their own, fiat money doesn't really have a value. It only has a value because the government and the system say that it has a value. So the $5 bill only has a value because it's legal tender, and the bank and the government say this $5 paper is valued at $5. So that's fiat money. So commodity money, fiat money. So the textbook says that money, items that serve as money but which has no value in themselves. The piece of paper on which the $100 bill is printed is basically worthless. And so we know that. We know the money, the medium which is printed on is basically worthless. Right? I don't want to get controversial, but certain islands, certain Caribbean islands, they have money, paper money, and the face value of that money isn't even worth the value of the paper it's printed on. Right? They know who they are. Some of the Caribbean countries know who they are. Some of the larger ones know who they are. And so it's literally the paper doesn't really worth what the face is saying, the denomination is saying on the paper dollar, right? So, Jamaica, Trinidad. Anyway, so Guyana. So token money is basically worthless. Fiat money is sometimes called token money because it's just a thing like monopoly money, monopoly money. But only because the government say it's valuable, that is why it is what it is. Right? And so you have some examples of monies right here. You have some euro, US, pound, and so we have in the Caribbean a wide range of currencies. We have the Trinidadian dollar, the Titi dollar, the Bajan dollar, the Jamaican dollar, the Guyanese dollar, and of course the most powerful one in the Caribbean, the Eastern Caribbean dollar. Right? The EC dollar is more powerful than the rest currencies in the Caribbean. Right? So yeah, let's let that soak in. And the Barbados might say they want more US, but the demand for the EC is higher. The stability of the EC is higher because it's a currency union, and so it's the strength. Its strength is derived from the fact that so many other countries use that EC dollar, and the demand for trade is high because we trade amongst ourselves and things like that. Right? All right, good. Moving right along. So so those are the different types of monies out there. You have the fiat, the commodity, token. And so you want to know, well, what makes something function as money? What are the characteristics of money? And so money has a number of characteristics. But before we go on, let's look at let's look at another aspect of money. Right? In many civilizations over the centuries, precious metals such as gold were used as money. People stored their gold with goldsmiths. every time a trader wanted to buy goods, he would go to the goldsmith for his gold so that he could trade. So you see that there's a precursor to the banking system. You see that there's a precursor to the banking system. And remember also, not too long ago, the actual paper dollar was backed by actual gold. So if you had a paper dollar that says $5, it was actually backed by 5 gold coins, right? Back in, so you had what we call it gold standard. Okay, so as gold and other metals were difficult to carry around, traders started to leave their gold with goldsmiths and simply carried around IOUs or promissory note. So that's the precursor to the dollar now, the money, the paper dollar now. Issued by goldsmiths promising to pay the given amount of gold to the bearer of the note. The trader would purchase goods and the seller would accept the note. The seller now had a claim to the gold with the goldsmith equal to the value of the note. So you see how money is being developed here and how the banking system is coming into play. Right? So first you had what we call the gold standard, where gold was too heavy to carry around, so therefore they left it at the goldsmith. And when they go to the store, they give them an IOU, which is the value of the gold that they have with the smith. The seller now had a claim to the gold with the goldsmith equal to the value of the note. This was the origin of paper currency as money. In fact, UK paper money says, I promise to pay the bearer on demand the sum of X pounds, signed by the chief cashier of the Bank of England. This is a quaint survival from the past, but it makes the point that paper money that we use today is a stand-in for the real thing, gold. That's when it was backed by gold, where you call it gold standard. With the paper money, so if you had a $20 would have been backed by 20 gold coins or $20 worth of gold. So it actually was backed by gold. But eventually that changed as gold standard was done away with, and so we had the fiat money that we have today, where it's just legal tender. The government say it's worth this, it's worth $10, it's worth $50, and that's just how it is. There's no gold back into it. But of course, you know, banks, as we look at the central bank and the commercial banks later, banks have to hold a certain amount of money in reserve so that they can, you know, match what is being displayed. All right, so we're going to study it for now. And the next video, we are going to be looking at the features of money and also the functions of money. So the features of money and the function of money. So today we covered the development of money. We covered development of money and how money came. We look at the barter system, and then we look at the development of money from the barter system, right? So we're going to study it for now. And like I said, we're going to pick up with C and D next time. And so only how you know when Learn SKN drops a video, the next video on money, the functions and features of money, is by subscribing and of course hitting that notification bell, liking the video, and so so that's all you have to do for now. All right, so that's all you have to do to know when Learn SKN drops another video. So what you do now, do what I ask. All right, thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.